Hello everyone and welcome to the 4th edition of making a game even though I really have no idea how to. Like, seriously, I am underqualified for this. Anyway, so first I decided to get some interaction with the world going, because it follows on logically from that you get gameplay, because without interaction you can't really have gameplay, can you? That's a bit stupid. So what I started by doing is working out a way to detect which tile is clicked when you click, because it's actually harder than you expect, since you could calculate it on a 2D isometric tile map. Because I'm doing a 3D isometric tile map because it looks so much better, I need to do some extra stuff, and that extra stuff ends up needing to check the entire grid of tiles, which is quite costly. Right now it's actually not too bad. It doesn't severely affect the frame rate if I have that enabled, but Master Mystery proposed an optimization where I could calculate which tiles I need to check in a similar manner to how you calculate which tile is clicked in a 2D isometric tile map. I haven't implemented this yet because it's quite low priority and it doesn't really make all that much of a difference, but it should actually speed up the click detection by 10 or 20, maybe 30 times. But that's not really necessary right now. It will be in the future though, so I'll definitely implement that at some point. It's just been causing a bunch of trouble. Anyway, so getting click detection to work has actually been a right pain, but I think it's done now. It should be working. And so it's time to move on to writing a UI library. To interact with the world, you've got to have some kind of user interface. So I decided that to start, what I would do is when you click on a tile, it shows up a small menu. I will probably expand this so you can also have the option of having a larger menu at the top of the screen. You click an option in that menu and then you select the tiles to apply the action to, but that's lower priority right now. I just want something basic going just now. So I set about writing a UI library. I had a class for the drop-down menu and I had a class for a drop-down menu item, and it was a bit of a pain, but not as much as most things, so I got that done actually relatively quickly. And here is the result. You can basically just click on a tile, and right now I just have the option to convert it into a tree, which just sets the type of the tile to tree. Now this is all well and good, but firstly it looks ugly, but I'll fix that later. Right now I'm going for function over form, so it'll be fixed later, don't worry. Secondly, this is just a client-side thing. We need to do a lot of modifications so that whenever the user does something, it gets sent to the server. Right now it's just modifying the client, and when the client restarts or another client connects to the server, they won't see the changes. So what I need to do is figure out what kind of thing I need to do to send the data to the server. Because obviously building stuff takes time. So I think the approach I'm going to go for is the client sends over a packet to the server saying, hey, user clicked on this square, selected to change it to a tree, let's say. Then the client starts an animation. I don't know, animations are non-critical, so I'll figure that out later. And the animation goes on for the period of time that the client calculates it should go on for. And then when it's actually done, the server sends back a validation saying that it has actually been changed, and the client then changes it on the client side. And this means that you can cheat, but it only affects your client. If you cheat, it will not appear on the server, basically. Which is good, because I don't care about people doing things client side. I don't care if people modify the clients, but I want it so that you can't cheat in a multiplayer game, because that's a bit unfair. So I think I'll get on with implementing sending it to the server, and I'll see you when I've done that. It might take a while. Right, I'm back now, and it did take a while, but it's working now, I think. As you can see, I can change this tile to a tree, and it will send it to the server, and I can restart the client, and it will be still there, in the same position. Except it's not the same position! What the frick is going on? Right, okay, I'll be back when I fix that.
One eternity later.
Somewhere, I have my X's and my Y's muddled up. That took me a long time to debug right there. Anyway, now basically we got everything in place. All that's necessary is a sort of time scheduling thing, but I'll do that later, can't be bothered right now. Oh yeah, and you might have noticed in the last few clips, the textures have been different. I've been experimenting with pixel art, and I've also revamped the texture system. That took a while, And so now each texture is not just one PNG file, it's actually a JSON file containing a bunch of properties that links to PNG files, and each image has a tag as to whether it should be tinted to the background color or not. That's how I have tinted leaves on the trees, but not tinted trunks. They're always brown. I think it looks much better. It allows you to get more contrast, and hopefully it'll be useful because then it's basically like having multiple layers on a tile, which can allow for quite interesting effects when some are tinted and some are not. Anyway, it's been a lot of work to do this actually, much more than I expected. I thought it would be quite simple, but apparently not. So unfortunately not too much progress for now. So hopefully I'll be back later with a lot more progress. And technically now there's gameplay because you can place a tree and it saves on the server and goes to other clients. But really what we want is some people. And we want the people to live in a house, and we want the people to have a task and a job. And I'll explain about that in the next installment, if that's even a word anymore, of Planet Game making a game, even though I have no idea how to. Anyway, like and subscribe, and bye!